Alright, strap yourselves in because this one's an absolute belter. The Albanese government is at it again, flinging mud at Peter Dutton, trying to spin a story that just doesn't hold water. But here's the kicker, the so-called scandal they are pushing? It's not just flimsy, it's laughable. Today, we are going to expose how Labour's latest dirt file attack is nothing but a desperate attempt to shift attention away from their own mess. Sky News host Chris Kenny has laid it all out, the idiocy, the tactics, and the sheer desperation behind this attack. Labour wants you to believe that Peter Dutton had some kind of secret insider knowledge when he bought bank shares back in 2009. Yep, you heard that right. They are dredging up a 15-year-old investment decision and trying to spin it into a scandal. Now, let's get one thing straight. This was during the global financial crisis. The economy was tanking, the share market had nosedived, and the Rudd government was scrambling to throw lifelines to the banks. Dutton, like thousands of other Aussies, saw an opportunity and bought in when prices were low. Nothing illegal. Nothing dodgy. Just a bloke making a smart financial decision, the kind of decision the government was actively encouraging at the time. But Labour, never one to let the truth get in the way of a good smear campaign, is trying to twist it into some grand conspiracy. And guess where this so-called scandal originated? That's right, straight from the Prime Minister's office. Yet, when confronted, Albanese suddenly had nothing to say. Coincidence? Yeah, right. So what's the big claim here? Labour is suggesting that Dutton had access to confidential information about a government bank bailout before it was publicly announced, allowing him to make a tidy profit. Sounds scandalous, right? Except there's just one tiny problem. It's absolute nonsense. Let's break it down. First, Dutton wasn't even in government at the time. He was in opposition. So, unless Kevin Rudd was secretly slipping him classified memos, the idea that he had insider knowledge is beyond ridiculous. Second, the data proves that Dutton wasn't some lone wolf making shady trades in the dead of night. On January 23, 2009, the day in question, 7.7 million Commonwealth Bank shares were traded. That's more than double the amount from a week earlier. Same story with NAB and Westpac. It wasn't just Dutton buying in, it was thousands of investors who saw a golden opportunity. And here's the kicker. This wasn't some sneaky move against the economy. In fact, buying bank shares at that time was exactly what the Rudd government wanted Australians to do. The whole point of their bailout was to boost confidence in the banks, encourage investment, and stabilise the market. Dutton and thousands of others were doing exactly what Labour's own policies were designed to achieve. So why is Labour attacking him now? Simple. Politics. The real scandal here isn't Dutton's bank shares, it's how Labour operates. This entire revelation came from inside the Prime Minister's office. And yet, when questioned, Albanese suddenly had amnesia. One day, he's shrugging and saying it's a matter for Peter Dutton. The next, his office is caught red-handed feeding the story to the media. And let's talk about Andrew Charlton, the Labour MP leading the charge on this so-called scandal. Back in 2009, he was Kevin Rudd's economic advisor. He's since used his government experience to make millions in business and now sits comfortably in Parliament. The irony is almost too much to handle. He knows exactly how the markets worked back then. He knows there was nothing unusual about Dutton's trades. And yet, he's playing dumb, acting outraged, and pretending this is the crime of the century. It's classic Labour, distract, smear, and hope the public buys the spin. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Albanese and his team have been in government for 2 years now, and what have they actually achieved? Cost of living pressures are through the roof, power bills are skyrocketing, and they've made an absolute hash of border security. But instead of taking responsibility, instead of doing their actual jobs, they are busy digging up 15-year-old stock trades and calling it corruption. Meanwhile, when Labour MPs and their mates cash in on government decisions, it's all above board. No investigations, no outrage, just business as usual. Funny how that works, isn't it? At the end of the day, this entire saga boils down to one thing, a desperate government trying to divert attention away from its own failures. Albanese and his team are floundering, and instead of fixing real problems, they are throwing mud, hoping something sticks. But here's the truth. Australians aren't stupid. We see through the spin. We know when a government is trying to pull the wool over our eyes. And this pathetic attempt to smear Dutton? It's backfired spectacularly. So the next time Labour tries to push another dirt file attack, just ask yourself, What are they trying to distract you from this time? That's it for today, folks. If you're sick of the political games and want the real facts, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And let us know in the comments, do you think Labor's attack on Dutton is justified, or is this just another desperate smear campaign? Stay sharp, stay informed, and don't fall for the spin. Catch you in the next one.